Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting GreatWeather's first winter forecast for the winter of 22 and 23. So, just a quick thing I want to say. The photo on the right, the forecast is from GreatWeather, and GreatWeather is a great weather source with daily video uploads, so you can watch GreatWeather too for some more information. So let me get started. First, this winter, for most of the country, and by most of the country, I mean pretty much all of the north, the Midwest, and parts of the Northwest, will be seeing cooler than average temperature. So by this, I mean that most of these regions are going to be seeing cold temperatures. Of course, in winter it's going to be cold, but colder than average, which means if in winter average high is 40, it may be 37 or 36 this winter. And that really intensifies in the north, mainly in the northeast and central plains, where it's going to be really cool, really colder than average. So if it's like 40, then the high may be 34 or 33. So that's really low if you compare it to the average. So now I'm going to explain the map. First, we'll start with the warmer in the west. So warmer just means the highs are going to be much warmer than average. So in winter, I know that area does not really get cold. Probably 60s or maybe 70s. So it's going to be warmer than that. So if the average is 60, it may be in the mid-60s. Warm and dry basically is really similar to warm, but it's a bit less intense. And it's also going to be dry in that region. So this includes some of California, parts of Nevada, and a lot of other regions in the southwest. Then cool and stormy, this is a thing, it's really small, you see it covering most of Oregon. So cool and stormy means that it's going to be cold, of course, a bit cooler than average, and there's going to be much higher precipitation. Now, over here I said less precipitation if you're looking up at the red text, and that is for most of the country, but I'll get to that later. So then typical snowfall, just a typical snowfall and cold for that region at the time. So it's not going to really increase or decrease in snowfall, it's just going to stay the same. Cold and snowy, that really small region. Well, it's actually big in real life, but on the chart it's pretty small on the map. It's just going to be cooler than average and pretty snowy. Then the polar vortex. This is a really important area to talk about. The polar vortex is cool air that comes from the north and makes it really frigid, like below zero in these areas. So that is something that may be prevalent this winter compared to others more prevalent. Then Arctic blasts. That's the purple region that covers part of Kansas, Missouri, even Illinois, and Kentucky. So Arctic blast means that there is going to be some cooler air in that region, but it's not going to be like really cold all the time. So this means that sometimes cold air from the Arctic will blast down there and cause temperatures that are pretty low, but not all the time. And it's not going to be as bad as the polar vortex region. Then worst of winter. This is the area that should see really bad conditions, and by bad I mean more snow, more cold, and you're gonna see a lot of lake effect snow. That's why the red mainly covers the lake regions. So people who live near the Great Lakes should expect much more lake effect snow. Then tons of snow. This is a new thing that GreatWeather added. I don't think he did this in some of the past years. Tons of snow means that there's going to be a lot of snow in that region, much higher, and huge snowstorms. This is really similar tons of snow, just colder and more snowstorms. Then winter battle zone. This is an area where actually I live in, and yeah, this area is gonna see rain, sleet, snow, hail, you name it, and generally conditions should be cooler in this region, but it's gonna be much drier than normal. So snowfall, it's gonna be pretty much the same. Precipitation lower than average, but warmth and cold, it's gonna be much cooler than average. So it's just kind of a mix. Then very dry. Very dry means it's gonna be really warm and dry in that region. So now I'm done with explaining. Now let me quickly get on to the cooler than average winter and less precipitation area. So cooler than average winter means that we're going to see pretty much a much cooler winter other than in the southwest and I'd say parts of the Midwest and south. So most areas should be cooler than average, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cold this winter. But also most areas in the south especially, not in the north, so not in the northeast and the north, but in the south and Midwest, even the west, there should be less precipitation. So this is a thing that occurs a lot of times with La Nina winters, which is what we're going through. So yeah, just less precipitation, expect less rain, snow, sleet in these areas. So yeah, that's